It's the Friday news, and it's brought to you by Linode. There's a link below. $100 credit for Linode. We covered what on Monday? Caliber, server, Nextcloud. You've already got it set up, right? You've had a whole week. What's stopping you? What's stopping you? Engagement challenge.
Yep.
What would you like to see us do with Linode? Also,
That's an excellent question. Actually, Linode's got this new VLAN thing.
yeah.
And they don't charge you for moving data between Linodes. And they were like, hey, you guys go play with this. And I'm supposed to be doing that, and I haven't done it yet. But I'm trying to think of a good idea to do with that. And I know some of you are going to throw out some ideas that are going to take me like 3 weeks to do. I'm not doing that. We need something quick and somewhat entry level, I would say would be better.
Yeah.
And to show people like this, because you can, that's a big limitation in the cloud.
Yeah.
You're paying for every time you're moving data, and they've removed that when you're inside their ecosystem. So how would you abuse that?
I really think if people tried to roll their own Nextcloud, like once they're hooked on having that, they'll be willing to pay for that because the cost for Linode isn't really that much more than what you would pay, for the extra data storage or whatever on other service providers. And having it locked down and not, some analytics company going through your stuff to the nth degree is pretty nice.
They do give you a pretty generous monthly allotment of transfer as well.
Yeah.
So if you're not going too crazy, you could definitely host media there.
Thanks, Linode.
Hello, everybody. Today's May 21st, and it's finally warmed up down here, hopefully by now. And we're doing robot and nonsense today.
You say down here, Krista, but
Well, here in the south.
the people are scattered around the globe compared to you.
I guess,
There's no
Kentucky's
relative
not really...
direction.
Kentucky's kind of the south. It's definitely warm here. It's usually warmer this season, but it hasn't been. Until this week.
Well, you know who isn't warm and never will be? It's the OSIRIS-REx. Because the
Aw.
OSIRIS-REx must spend all of its time in the vacuum of space where it is very cold. But it has succeeded beyond all expectations.
It is headed back to Earth with an asteroid sample. OSIRIS-REx? OSIRIS-REx would be funnier.
Why?
Serious? Osiris?
Like the star?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking like the video game we played, but...
That was Osiris.
Yeah.
So this guy he gobbled up some parts of this asteroid, and he needs to bring it back. Now, he will not actually deliver it by hand. What he will do is slingshot around the sun a couple of times and then chuck it at us in a little container with a parachute on it. So that'll be fun.
It would have been more impressive if it was like landing at the space station. Like, let me just dock with the rendezvous at the space station.
Yeah.
Probably too dangerous.
That would definitely be more impressive.
Oh, it's coming in hot. Oh, it's moving at, 1/4
Oh, it
of
hit the
speed of
window.
light. Headed straight for the space station. That's probably bad.
It never ceases to amaze me how much work people put into fixing and improving Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And I mean, they are doing incredible things. The guy that fixed the lag or the load times,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was amazing. This is more impressive visually, but I think less, if you're a player, you get less out of it.
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
amazing.
Grand Theft Auto looks frighteningly photorealistic with this machine learning technique. So it's been a thing for a while. You could take a screenshot from Grand Theft Auto and send it through an AI that had been trained on a bunch of stuff, and then you end up with a photorealistic, looking image. The problem was that if you took a sequence of images, the AI wouldn't necessarily make every single image in the sequence look exactly the same as the previous one. Well, now the AI is smart enough to do that, so it handles motion and video a lot better. This doesn't run in real time, but if it did, can you imagine having that kind of a graphics filter to turn on? That would be incredible.
And they do have a teaching set that is actual locations. So it's able to sort of like, oh, okay, this surface looks kind of
Piece
like
it
that.
together.
So let's make it that surface. And you can see, you watch the video, it is amazing what they've done there. That's an interesting... Do you think that is an alternative to ray tracing that we might someday?
I don't know, but I think that's an excuse for Level 1 to pick me up a couple of A100 GPUs at about $10,000 a pop, and let's see if we can get that neural net running in real time.
Yeah, that would certainly solve the problems of society.
But think how good the games would look.
What?
So think how good the games would look.
I don't have to think about the problems of society anymore. It's all good.
Well, one of the problems of society that affects very few people, but I wholeheartedly support dealing with, because I think that it's like one of my greatest fears, right?
Yeah.
I know it's got to be for you.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you do if you were trapped inside your own body?
I would go insane.
Yeah, I think so. And it wouldn't be pretty. But maybe if we could give you this, you could hold on to that lifeline.
Neural implant lets paralyzed person type by imagining writing. The diagram here looks decidedly like Frankenstein level technology, which makes me feel bad for the person who needed this, but okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that body is nothing but an empty sack of meat anyway, right? It's a burden to them. So I'm saying, yeah, let's get in here. Do what you got to do.
We might be able to get to the point where you can download your brain into a computer a little sooner than expected.
Now, 90 characters per minute is pretty low.
Yeah.
Because usually we think in terms of words per minute. But when you got nothing else. Also, the previous version of this was a cursor, and you had to like really think hard about moving it, and you had to like do some sort of mental gymnastics to cause the click. And they described it as very fatiguing mentally. This, not so much.
Yeah, 99% accuracy.
Really good.
That's better than me typing on a soft keyboard for sure.
Yeah.
And I know that's true of you as well.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you enjoy fame. Other times you don't want to be famous for a certain thing. I'm curious how she feels about it. I think actually she went public, right?
Yeah.
But not by choice. Somebody actually tracked this young lady down.
Meet the real Alexa. Voice actor reportedly responsible for Amazon's AI assistant has been revealed. Nina Roel?
Rawl or Raleigh? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Roly poly.
But she has a rich voice acting. What would you say?
Resume?
Body of work. Repertoire is a good word. And I don't know if this is 100% confirmed, but if you listen to it, it sounds very similar.
Yeah.
So if you see her in public, walk up to her and be really weird about it.
Why aren't you
Alexa.
getting me my gummy bears, Alexa?
Oops. As Wendell always describes them, unsolicited hugs. At one place that you should not hug anybody. I guarantee it'll be misinterpreted. You really have to be careful
No
in
hugs.
this place. And that is the Google AI research division, because they are on edge
They're having some problems.
after some recent events.
Google plans to double AI ethics research staff. So if everybody left, what are they doubling? Isn't double nothing still nothing?
Is this like the Supreme Court where they're doubling it, but they're half of them are just going to be shills for Google?
I mean, this seems like such a mess. Like, you wouldn't even announce this. Like, just don't even put out a PR thing. Just quietly, you know, is
Well, they
this
gotta
going
do
to be
something.
Is it going to be better after this? Is there anybody? Can we get anybody back?
There's nothing wrong with AI. There's no ethical concerns here at all.
It's all white guys in their 60s. Like, no, these are the best guys we can find.
They keep referring to AI as I, just like one syllable.
They walk in, they're like, look at all these broads. When did they start working here? Like, no, shh, you don't talk. You don't talk. Just go to your office. AI is learning to do all sorts of things, and one of the things we love to do is to teach it or to have it learn all by itself and see what sort of monstrosity comes out the other end. It's usually racist, and I imagine that this will eventually get there as well.
IBM's CodeNet dataset can teach AI to translate computer languages. It is the ImageNet of code. So they were talking about COBOL and Fortran 77. IBM is looking at this and they're like, look, there's a talent shortage. All of your business transactions still run on code that's running on COBOL. And, you know, so we try to replace those machines, but really it's kind of like a turducken mainframe where the mainframe is still at the center, but it's been surrounded by less and less obsolete technology. And IBM's looking at this, I'm sure, and they're thinking, man, we can translate this into modern languages and not lose anything logically.
One of the things that we've learned is that the worst kind of development project that you can get is one that someone has already ruined.
Yes.
Imagine being hired to salvage something that an AI wrote.
I'm pretty sure Dante wrote about this.
Which layer was that?
There's no comments either. Or there are comments, but they're just like weird machine comments.
weird machine comments.
Well, it's that GPT-3 stuff when it starts getting weird, in like one of the comments.
I fed an AI every episode of MacGyver and asked it to write a new episode of MacGyver, and it was just...
So that's coming. I look forward to that. It's gonna be crazy. What if we get a very important system that an AI wrote, but we don't know how it works or how to reproduce it? We just have to live with it. I mean, that's sci-fi dystopia all day long.
We kind of already have those systems, and occasionally they kill people, and we're like, nah, that's probably fine.
Self-driving cars. And when it comes to facial recognition, a lot of people think that there's no useful anything to it. It's just all bad. We have to get rid of it. Other people are like, oh, I could make a lot of money with that. Let's think about that. But this is an entirely new take, because before now, you really had to be someone with some kind of power to get your hands on good facial recognition and a good data set. But this one, is this power to the people, or is this just anarchy? I don't know.
CNN Business reports that anyone can use this powerful facial recognition tool, and that's a problem. If you upload your picture to PimEye's website, it'll immediately show you all the places it found your face. So like you can upload it and it's like, oh, here you go.
So if you are curious, are you appearing on public facial recognition data set somewhere? Presumably.
Probably.
Now this is not free. Or maybe it's free for a couple of them, but the author pointed out here they paid $30 to do 25 searches per day. Krista, you're a big stalker.
I am a big stalker.
Are you excited about this?
Not really, because it doesn't tell me anything that is actually useful.
Well, I could tell you. So they point out that you could actually, maybe not a date and time, but you could place your victim in a location based on the context of where they were spotted.
Yeah, this search engine also could search for pictures of that person that have metadata. Like the GPS coordinate is embedded in the picture.
Yep. And then you could find out what device they're using.
Yeah.
There's a lot you could glean there, Kristen. Maybe you need to sharpen your skills a little bit.
I'm usually looking for information about like arrests and stuff. I don't really care about...
Has this gardening kick caused you to atrophy your stalking skills?
Yeah, a little. Well, and just what's the point in stalking anyone when you're just trapped in your house all the time?
I guess that's true. I doubt that's stopping your garden variety stalkers. I'm sure they're still out
probably
there.
not. Also, update chat. There's pumpkins in the ground here, so hopefully we'll see a new Lieutenant Dangle in a few months.
How are those pumpkins using artificial intelligence?
They aren't. They're just using dumb intelligence. Just regular old, you throw a seed in the ground and hope it grows.
Why even bother?
Yeah.
Well, deepfakes. I'm often surprised that we aren't seeing more deepfake technology.
Yeah.
Or are we and we don't know?
Probably.
That would be terrifying. But it is out there, and researchers are constantly trying to remind us of how bad it could be.
Deepfake satellite imagery poses a not-so-distant threat, warn geographers. So, we trust satellite images as like the ground truth of what's happening on the ground, but these researchers showed how easy it was to fake satellite imagery.
And I mean, why would you ever question one of these?
Do you think ever that they would, be used as justification because like WMDs are definitely there? We can definitely see it on the satellite photography.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about how much deniability there would be if the person sitting in the shipping container driving the Reaper drone didn't know any better. The Reaper drone doesn't know any better, but someone way up the chain knows better.
Yeah.
And they would be like, well, nobody knew.
Look, the satellite feed in real time. I was like, are you faking that? No, how would I do that? That seems impossible.
Oh wait.
This one's going to make some people angry. But it's from the horse's mouth, or maybe not the mouth, maybe a little more like the legs of the horse, the more functional parts of the horse.
The Verge, not Level 1 text, The Verge is reporting that Tesla privately admits that Elon Musk has been exaggerating about full self-driving. Now go read the article yourself. The article at The Verge says that the engineers say, oh yeah, that's Elon. He exaggerates sometimes.
And this was in response to regulators who were contacting them and being like, well, he's saying this. Is this true? And they were gentle about it. They weren't like whistleblowing here. And they were like, well, sometimes he gets a little, enthusiastic.
Bless his heart. He's trying.
We can't quite do those things.
He's talking about full self-driving on a closed course that's been pre-programmed that only exists on the Tesla test campus. Come on.
And they're like, oh, well, based on the description, we're definitely talking about level 3 here, right? No. Definitely level 2. For sure level 2.
Please
don't write that down. Underline it if you need to. Krista, I think you've decided not to have kids. You won't admit it, but you have.
I'm still on the fence. I go back and forth.
Right, yeah. Well, the clock's ticking. But if you were to have kids, would you be someone who wanted them to eat with the other children and not be socially ostracized, but eat garbage food, or would you want to pack their hipster lunches for them?
It depends on the kid. If the kid inherited anything weird from me, they'd be like, I can't have my food touching. So I don't know.
Oh, so it's the mental issues of the kid, right?
I might pass on some sort of weirdness that I have.
I was imagining that you had 2 kids and you just arbitrarily chose, like you just treated them differently.
All right, kids, we're going to do an experiment.
No, like as a kid, I didn't want my food to touch. I was really weird about textures. Like I wouldn't eat peas. I didn't care about the flavor. I just didn't like the texture because it ruined the texture of every other thing it touched.
Well, I can guarantee you that there will be some Karens who do not like this.
Yeah. Impossible Burgers are coming to U.S. schools. Company secured child nutrition labels for its products.
So remind me that an Impossible Burger, this is a purely plant-based burger.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had these growing up when I was in like high school.
No, there was a scandal. They started to put soy in the burgers, but there was still meat.
Oh, okay. We always wondered about that.
I want to say that we also had the option of like fried eggplant or something.
Really?
There's some kind of alternative.
Did anybody ever
I don't remember that.
accept that? But I think it has been, I don't know, proven, but a lot of people have argued, and the arguments seem pretty sound, that these burgers are not any better for you.
Yeah.
They are just meatless. So it's more of a moral type of thing.
Probably a cost-saving measure, if we're being honest,
Are they
about the
cheaper?
American school system.
You think they're cheaper now? They weren't for
Maybe.
a while.
Considering the price of meat right now, yeah.
Impossible would like for you to watch this video about how cows are processed for burgers. Now, please choose which one you would like to eat.
No, they gotta make them read The Jungle.
That had the opposite effect on me. I read The Jungle and I was like, man, I could go for like some, Slim Jims right now.
Yeah, it certainly didn't slow me down at all. But I'm sure some kids would be affected by that.
I had a bit of a pause, and now every time before I eat meat, it's like, thank you for your sacrifice, Mr. Cow, but you are delicious.
You are delicious, yeah. I'm trying to eat a little less meat, more so because I'm afraid about, not being able to obtain it as easily, but...
You're like the Native American warrior.
Yeah.
Like thanking the spirit of the animal, even though it was processed 2 months ago. It's been frozen since then.
It's just been hanging around. It's finally someone's thanking me. I can go now.
10% of its soul is in your package of ground beef, but the rest are scattered everywhere else.
The rest of the soul is summoned to me when the one soul alerts the other parts of the soul. It's like, oh, great, we're finally going to get thanked for our sacrifice. We can move on.
Now I have a terrible confession to make here, and I just realized it when you were out of the room there. I forgot to read the nonsense section.
Yeah.
Like I set the nonsense section aside for later, and I forgot to go back to it. Some of these I skimmed earlier, but for the most part, I don't know exactly what's going on here.
It's fun.
I do remember this one is this has been completely debunked, right?
Yeah.
Mushrooms on Mars is a hoax. Stop believing hack scientists. So there's a picture that's circulating, and it's like, look, the mushrooms are spreading. They're growing, because one picture had more of these than the other. It turns out it was the wind. The wind was blowing stuff around. So, yeah, there's the wind.
There's no decaying matter for fungus to thrive on. Like, how would that work?
What kind of mushroom is this, Krista? Identify it.
Well, I mean, with no color, no pictures of the ridges, who knows?
Wow.
Could be witch's butter, but it's not grown on like a
Witch's
soggy
butter?
log because there are no soggy logs there.
That sounds like some sort of sexual thing. Witch's butter.
Sometimes you'll see it growing on like door frames and stuff. It's like bright orange. It's like a little jelly fungus. It kind of looks like that.
So the next web had their little joke here. It was like, oh, the sand is growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great joke. But also, not a great thing to do is to lie to people about mushrooms on Mars. And when it comes to, we talk a lot about Tesla and the self-driving thing, and I have to admit, my dislike of Tesla kind of blinds me to the argument here should not be that something is wrong with Tesla. It's these idiots. It's the people we're blaming the gun, and I apologize.
Somebody that's down-duded all of our old videos is going back now and up-duding them.
I don't think they'll do that.
No, that's not how that works. You just downvote blindly and you never go back.
But we do live in this world, but ideally we can't. I don't think we can fall victim to this. You cannot try to build a world that's safe for the stupid.
Yes.
But the problem is they share the roads. So I don't know. This is terrifying.
Tesla Autopilot abuser is released from jail, buys a new Tesla, and rides in the back seat again. So this guy was arrested for riding in the back seat of the Tesla while Autopilot was engaged. And it looks like he's got a fake hand or something on the steering wheel there. If this is the
Wow.
if this is
I think there might be somebody in that seat.
I don't know. But yeah, so he bought another Tesla, and when the news people asked him for comment, he's like, yeah, that Tesla's not a lot of money to me. I'll just keep buying them as long as they keep arresting me. Pretty sure the judge is going to put him away for a long time until he understands.
He did more than just jail time waiting for the trial, right? Like they actually sentenced him to some time.
Yeah.
Do you think he was sitting there every day thinking, oh, I can't wait to do it again?
Yeah, when he got out, he's like, I'll show them. Ah!
He's quoted as saying, I'm rich as expletive. I'm very rich.
You know, if you got an extra million laying around, we got some ideas.
But the jail time.
Store.level1text.com. Patreon.com/floatplane.
I mean,
check it out.
No matter how rich you are, sitting in jail's got to suck, right?
Check out that Linode link below.
Maybe he just figures he'll buy off whoever's, prosecuting him, and he's like, well, whatever.
But it didn't work last time, right? So you got to say, when it comes to stubbornness, he's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made his point.
Consistent.
I guess. And now we start a block of stupidity all about the same thing. And that was the big news this week, of course, gasoline. A lot of people proved that they have a very limited understanding of hydrocarbons and safety precautions that must be followed when handling them.
WBRZ Channel 2 reports that Odor has prompted the emergency response at a hotel. Firefighters say a guest was storing gas there. Don't store gasoline in a hotel room. Do you have any idea how bad that can go?
That is.
You know how we have the crazy labels which tell you the most obvious thing, like coffee is hot? Are we going to get a new slew of those about gasoline based on this?
How did people not get that when they took driver's ed? Like, always turn off your car, you know?
I don't remember if driver's ed talked about fueling up for me.
Ours did. I mean, it wasn't like, they didn't say things like, don't store it in plastic containers in a hotel, but like, that was kind of just, they thought it was a given.
Those instructions are on the pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely there.
And they're posted all around the pump too. Like, it is unlawful for you to use anything other than an approved container.
And they are there for a reason. I am, of course, staunchly anti-regulation in most cases. But I think here, we are getting so many illustrations of
why there needs to be at least a little.
Why this one is a good idea.
Hummer bursts into flames just after driver filled up containers of gasoline in Homosassa, firefighters say. So the article says that he was smoking.
Another thing that the gas pump warns you about. In fact, forbids. What were you saying, Krista?
I said this is in Florida, which, I mean, that should tell you everything right there.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Homosassa.
Definitely don't want to do that. God, it's just amazing. And one of the other big stories that was playing out during the week coincided with the gas pipeline in an amazing way.
Times Square shooting suspect caught in Florida after running out of gas. So they got him on video hopping in a car with his girlfriend, and then they got him going back to the hotel and then leaving the hotel. And then I guess he went down the interstate and ended up in Florida, but ran out of gas in Florida.
When I was reading this, they were saying they're questioning the girlfriend now to find out if she knew. How did she not know?
Yeah.
Let's just go to Florida. Why? Don't question it. We have to go now. Don't turn on the news.
Don't get.
Are we
any
just
of our
going for a
belongings.
pill run, or?
Yeah. Exciting times.
And this one, like I said, I forgot to read the nonsense stories. So this one is still a massive mystery to me. I don't understand this headline at all.
I've read a different version of the story, and I still don't understand it.
Yeah, there is no understanding. This is the headline is pretty much what happened.
But also, well, let's do the headline first.
Woman trespasses Miami high school and poses as student to gain Instagram followers, police
Now,
say.
would you be fooled? I think this is like a fellow kids type of deal, right? I mean, she does not look that young.
Yeah.
But she definitely looks like she's in her 20s. Like, she doesn't look like a high school student.
I don't know if I'd give her 20s.
So she's 28.
Really?
Yeah.
So, how do you think this, in her mind, what happened here? Like, was this supposed to play out?
I don't even know.
She was literally just like handing out like business cards and stuff with her Instagram handle on it.
Oh, I thought it was the video that was supposed to promote her, but she was just doing like a grassroots, like, I need more teenage viewers.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And the crazy thing is, like, the first time security stopped her, they were like, oh, okay, you're registering as a new student. That's fine. Go ahead and do that. But then she was still wandering around, like, I guess when you're supposed to be in class or something, and they're like, what are you doing? And she didn't stop that time. So that's when they called security. She probably would have gotten away with it if she'd had a better plan.
What do you think the conversion rate is there?
Not great.
I mean, they probably check it out once to see who this crazy person is, right?
You think her long-term plan was to try to bait all those students into doing something really insane and then putting that on?
But they don't have any money. You can't steal their money.
Well, no, but like you get them to do something insane. It's like, gee, Billy, wouldn't it be crazy if you jumped from the water tower?
Like a viral type of
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
They said she dressed up like a student as well. What does that mean?
Wouldn't you immediately get banned for uploading children doing stuff?
Probably.
I mean, I'm not saying that she had a lot of forethought here.
Weird story.
I don't know how you're going to introduce this one.
I'll take a stab at it. The Detroit News again, for the second time this week. A Michigan judge has blasted a man for logging onto a virtual hearing with a highly inappropriate name. The headline of this story is Buttf and a bunch of dashes 3000. There's a screenshot if your imagination can't fill in the dashes.
But I like how, based on the number of dashes, it ends in ER.
Yeah. So the guy's explanation for this was apparently that they had a Bluetooth speaker that they had named that. And somehow, because the Bluetooth speaker was paired to the computer, that's what it thought his name was.
Well, it's not illegal to use that name online.
Well, the judge was like, just go fix it, and then I'll let you back in after you fix it.
How much
Oh,
temptation
that's funny though.
would there be to come back as 3001?
It's probably not good because he was up on like some kind of drug charges or something, and he ended up pleading out. So,
Or 3069?
42069.
You're just like, okay, that's acceptable.
I remember we did the story about who are the annoying brothers? One that's fighting now.
The Pauls?
Yeah, the Pauls. He bought like $1 million worth of Pokemon cards or something like that. Remember that? And I was thinking, are Pokemon cards still a huge thing? And boy, did I learn a lesson about how big they are. But I still didn't know the scope of it.
U.S. Target stores stopped selling Pokemon cards after the rising value prompts threats to staff. I think Walmart also joined them. I think that this article said that, or it was maybe another article because I read this in a couple. This is the Guardian reporting on this because we can't have nice reporting in America.
Let's say a guy pulled a gun. Imagine going to prison and everyone's like, oh, what are you in here for?
Pokemon.
I killed a guy over Pokemon cards. I killed a man over a Charizard.
Was it foil? Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
There's also been a lot of fraud where like they'll open it up and pull out the very best card or two and then put it all back and then be like, I want to return this.
You know what I've noticed in Amazon reviews is some people were claiming that this was M&Ms. People were claiming that they got the M&Ms and it had clearly been resealed with one of those machines because they have the zipper top, right? And the zipper top just didn't function at all. It was melted shut. But there were M&Ms inside. What is that scam?
They put something in there other than M&Ms.
Why?
There's just one Skittle in there.
Yeah, I mean,
They're just doing it for the lulls. Just spreading misery with those single Skittles.
no, I think like going to the jewelry counter and putting jewelry in there or something, and then.
Oh, and like using it as like a medium to ship other
Oh,
things.
but no, but like this was people were complaining because they were getting sold these on Amazon.
Oh,
And they had pictures and their reviews.
maybe to bypass customs.
I'm thinking maybe they had like a bulk M&M barrel.
Oh, and they were just.
How do you make money? I still don't understand.
Yeah, it still doesn't.
Engagement challenge. Are you an M&M scammer? Tell us how that works. Well, Krista, I'm sorry, Big K. Obviously,
Please
I was
refer to
thinking.
me by my real name.
I imagine that you already know all about this, but I guess this is good news in your world, right? Really good news.
Amazon promises they aren't wasting that $465 million on one Lord of the Rings season. I think they're filming 2 seasons back to back.
Well, what they're
is what
saying
I've
here,
heard.
they're saying that it's going to have to be a worldwide phenomenon to make back that money.
Yeah, that's for me. That just means like they're gonna, there's gonna be a picture of Gilgalad on everyone's T-shirt, bag of oranges, like, which I kind of don't like, but that's the world we live in now.
I kind of felt like that when they started making that Dark Tower movie, and I was like, oh, my obscure nerd thing is going to be ruined. But they
Yeah.
made it so bad. There was no worry about that.
I kind of figure they'll really dumb it down, or it'll be so weird that it'll be like completely unrecognizable compared to the books. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but I kind of don't expect it to be great. We'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised.
We will see. So, my cats are non-utility. They have no value. They offer nothing. They are simply just big stuffed animals. But humans' relationship with cats began as a nice little symbiosis, and it's nice to see that, 2,000 years later, here we are, still doing it.
1,000 feral cats have been released in Chicago to tackle the rat explosion there. The Windy City is ranked number 1 on the pest control company Orkin's list of the rattiest cities in the U.S. for 6 consecutive years. So these cats have all been spayed and neutered. There shouldn't be any reproducing happening with these cats. But the expectation is that even if these cats aren't eating the rats are going to be scared for their life. And they expect that business owners and things like that, randos, will be feeding and taking care of the cats. It'll just be a problem that solves itself.
The poor birds in Chicago are, they're also going to be in a reign of terror soon.
Also, anybody with any kind of sand on their property?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any possibility of like a Jurassic Park type situation here?
Yeah, probably.
Life finds a way.
Yeah.
Miracle kittens.
At nearly every subway station, there's the sound of a cat being very unhappy as the subway pulls into the station.
Krista, I think Wendell and I are far too old for this. Were you a Hey Arnold watcher?
Yeah, I loved Hey Arnold when I was a kid.
Did you ever catch on to these undertones?
I was wondering about this. There's a clip of it in this article, but
I mean, as a kid, were you aware of it, or did you just find out about this right now?
just right now, yeah.
It's quite an accusation, isn't it?
It is. Hey Arnold creator forced by internet to deny there was, can I say this with the algorithm?
Probably not.
Probably not, no. Something inappropriate in the
A
cartoon.
sexual act in his cartoon.
And they have a clip if you want to indulge yourself and check that out. It turns out it was a dude eating a turkey.
Let's say that.
Is that what's happening there? I don't know.
Was it Arnold who was the one in question here?
No, it was just something
No,
going
it's
on
just
in
a
the
background scene.
Would you say that guy in the background maybe had a job to do with rims?
It doesn't look like he's doing what they accuse him of doing, but it does kind of look a little weird.
Is this the guy right here?
No,
Yeah.
no, it's later.
Oh,
in the
no,
clip.
no.
I'm not gonna play
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, that's something, and he had to make that
You're like,
announcement.
no.
Remember when J.K. Rowling did that, but it turns out it was all just crazy. They really were doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Snape was actually a single mother.
At the children's school. And running out of gas, yeah, that's bad. And, the pipeline shutting down, losing the nation's truckers, that would all be catastrophic. All the stuff we've seen about data breaches, right? But nothing could affect us as a people as much as this.
Sauce shortage. Chick-fil-A limiting dipping sauces due to shortage. You're going to have to get the 30-pack of nuggets if you want 3 dipping sauces.
Just throw half of them away.
Now there's a chicken shortage. What have we done?
I do. I go hard on the Chick-fil-A sauces.
I don't ever
Their
go
stuff
to
is so
Chick-fil-A 'cause it's
salty.
packed.
Yeah,
It's
that's
always
true.
packed full of people.
I haven't been in a long time. I don't think I've been to Chick-fil-A since I got the air fryer. It's close enough.
I did get some of that close enough Chick-fil-A sandwich thing, and that is a great snack.
But it's not the same as Chick-fil-A.
It's not quite, no, but if you throw a pickle on there, it's not
Yeah,
bad.
It's good. It's just not the same as Chick-fil-A. Although I would love to have some of that Chick-fil-A honey mustard to pop on one of those bad boys.
It is good.
I guess I can't get it.
Engagement challenge, what's the recipe?
Engagement challenge should be what sauce and how much do you use for a 12-count nugget? I'll go through 2 easily. 2 honey mustards easily on a 12-count nugget. I like to
Usually 2 is just enough.
just bathe those bad boys in that. God, now I want Chick-fil-A.
You could get a lot more on there if you used a fork instead of your fingers with those.
Pro Chick-fil-A abuse tip.
What am I, a millionaire? I eat my food with my fingers like an American.
Well, thanks again to Linode for sponsoring the news this week. And be sure to check out that coupon below if you're still with us, because you get free credit if you haven't already used your credit. Build amazing things. Or, heck, just build a game. You can have your own Valheim server if you want. But check
Don't
out the
choose
tutorials.
Valheim.
And,
It's so grindy.
yeah, it is kind of grindy.
Fine. It's exactly fine.
Check it out. And thank you again. We'll
We're
see you next
watching.
week.
All right, Big K, take us out.
Bye.
Big K, Chick-fil-A, hot sauce, honey mustard. Goodbye.